Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to Hank McCoy News, where I'm hitting you with the best and the latest news. Um, Today's story is pretty interesting. It deals with 3D printed foods, where they came from and where they're going now. Let's get into this. This is a salmon steak that's being 3D printed. It's comprised of lentils and other beans and other nutrients that are vital to add to a well-balanced diet that you can add with your legumes to complete the perfect meal. The first 3D food printers were made by students at Cornell University in 2006, and these printers made dough, cookies, chocolate, and even cheese. 3D food printing is the process of manufacturing food products using a variety of additive manufacturing techniques. Food-grade syringes hold the printing material but is then deposited through a food-grade nozzle layer by layer, kind of like the salmon that we seen earlier. Food printers can come preloaded with the recipes and programs to edit your food on PC. I'm not lying. Look this stuff up, man. Food printing was first used by students at Cornell University wanting to create unique food designs, but then evolved into bigger agendas like the space program by creating space food. 3D printing food is said to change the food production process by creating food efficiently and at a lower cost. With these machines, you can add and subtract calories, proteins, and fibers, and they can help with dieting. So wow, that's pretty cool, right? Um, 3D food printing. Wow. So, anyways, I heard that it's a salmon that's going to be featured in European markets that was 3D food printed. It's made out of lentils or something like that. That's pretty crazy, man. Like what's going on? So I don't know. You guys need to check your packaging and read on the back of your labels and all that on your food products and see what's actually in it. I'm sure they're probably lying on that too, but at least you can see some of the things that are in it if you do that. Well, let's take a deeper look into this 3D food printing stuff.
In the last few years, 3D printing has become mainstream. But making food this way is still in its early stages. It might seem like a new process, but the origin of 3D printing goes back to the early 1980s. In 1983, researchers produced the first item using a 3D printer. What was that groundbreaking new product? An eye wash cup. Today, the process is used to create toys, prosthetics, and automotive parts. You can even have one at home. But how did this technology move into the kitchen? In 2006, NASA began researching 3D printed food as it wanted to create pizzas for astronauts. NASA wasn't the only one interested in printing food. In 2007, researchers at Columbia University's Creative Machines Lab produced the Fab at Home personal fabrication system, which could create edible objects using cake frosting, chocolate, processed cheese, and peanut butter. The first bakery making 3D printed goods opened in 2011. Using a standard 3D printer, Sugar Labs produces such intricate candies that it markets them as ornaments. By 2014, food-specific 3D printers were being created and marketed to restaurants as a means of producing intricately designed meals. Genius idea. But the food still had to be cooked in traditional ways. Recently, the researchers at the Creative Machines Lab have been searching for ways of cooking food as it's being printed. Their solution? is lasers. Adding lasers to a 3D printer allows them to print and cook the food in the same machine. But how does it taste? Well, the laser-cooked 3D printed chicken was twice as juicy as conventionally cooked chicken. It also didn't shrink as much. And, most importantly, it tasted like regular chicken. Meat isn't the only thing 3D printing could revolutionize. Israeli company Redefine Meat is using 3D printing to create plant-based meat. These alt steaks, as they are called, have more fiber and less fat than traditional steaks. And they have the same amount of protein, but no cholesterol. All right, where can I get one? And printing our food could help fight food waste. Netherlands-based Uprising Foods wants to turn discarded food into edible printing material. If you want to experience 3D printed food, you could visit Food Inc. in the UK. This restaurant touts itself as a one-of-a-kind gourmet experience where all the food, utensils, and furniture are produced through 3D printing. A Japanese company has created a standardized cube form of food using 3D printers, much like the food eaten by Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock on the Starship Enterprise.
Well, not bad.
Plans are underway for a sushi restaurant using these edible cubic printouts. So, could 3D printed food become our food of the future? Only time will tell, my friends. But the increasing availability of consumer printers could make 3D printed food more common. And if 3D printed food doesn't become our food of choice, perhaps crickets will be the food of our futures. Or maybe it'll be food printed using cricket paste. We'll explore that on another episode of Origins of Food.
All right, so that was pretty crazy right there, I guess. Yeah. So the question is it already um in restaurants yet? Um so the answer is yes, they do actually they have a whole complete restaurant somewhere in Europe. I think there's one in Spain, um, where it just strictly serves 3D printed foods. It's crazy. But yeah, let's check out the steaks and stuff. Let's see what that looks like. The meat, right? Because I know you guys are wondering what that stuff would like really look like. So let's check a little bit of that out.
A juicy, sizzling steak made by computer. While obtaining regular meat is a process that's been taking place for millennia, cow, butcher, beef, Redefine Meat, a meat alternative startup out of Israel, makes their product using a highly technical process. The mix of soy and pea protein, chickpeas, beetroot, nutritional yeast, and coconut fat is formed into steak-like shapes using a 3D printer.
Our goal is to become the largest meat company in the world just by harnessing technology instead of animals.
Meat substitutes are not new, but unlike the soy-based crumbles that mimic ground beef, Redefine Meat's product is designed to act, taste, and cut like flank steak.
This is the holy grail of alternative meat.
But the most important part, how does it taste? This diner was happy.
The texture feels right, even the smell smells like the real thing. Really authentic for meat.
Although I do my own editing and chopping, some of the videos I don't own the rights to. So to cover my ass, I have to put this up. Have a nice day.